What you're going to do is you're going to check your email and see that it says, join Dan Tamander's class at Khan Academy. So you're going to click down here in that email to join the class. It's going to take you to Khan Academy. You're supposed to sign up. Make sure you sign up using Google, and this should be you're signed up or you're signed in already as your casualschools.org account. Okay. Now, I don't see that it shows me in that class right now. So I'm going to check my coaches. And when I go in here, I don't see that I'm in the class that Mr. T gave me right now, right? The Algebra 1 class. So I'm going to have to get the code and paste it in there. That's the code to join the class. So click that code, and now you can see that you are now in that class. Okay? That's what I want you to see so far. Now, after you've joined the class, and you've made sure that, here's your name. If you need to, you can click here and go to your profile here, and you'll see there's your profile. That's your home screen. Over here, you have coaches, and so under coaches, you should see that you're in a class with THODANIE at casualschools.org. Okay, so now what you're going to do is you just look in here. Up here where this bell is your notifications, and you can see that I've recommended the mission Algebra 1 for you. And what that means now that you've joined into that class is that you can go ahead and start that mission. I want you to go ahead and click Start this mission. So what'll happen is we've got a mission warm-up. And so you really need to go through all the mission warm-up. Okay, I'm going to walk you through right now. It says do all 6 problems here. So I know that the square root of 9 is 3 and the square root of 16 is 4. So I know the square root of 12 is between 9 and 16, so it's going to be between 3 and 4. Okay, so I put my answers in there that the square root of 12 is somewhere greater than 3 and lesser than 4. And here I go. It wants me to add that up, and so I'm going to do that. 44.34. And let's see, here's another mission warm-up. Francis can complete 91 oil changes in 7 days. How many oil changes can Francis complete in 11 days? Okay, so 91 in 7, and we want to know how many in 11. So the first thing I want to know is how many is she doing in 1 day? Okay, so I'm going to take 91 and divide it by 7. 91 is the total that she does in 7 days, so I hit divide by 7, and I get 13. Aha, so I know she's doing 13 in a day, and now the question is, how many will she do after 11 days? So I'm going to take those 13 and times it by 11, and that gives me 143. All right, now it says, first consider the expression for 2 plus the quantity of 5 times x. All right, so 2 is going to be added to a quantity, and the quantity is given as 5 times x. The quantity of 5 times x. So we need 5 times x is what 2 is being added to. So 5 times x is being added to 2. That looks like either of these two right here. 5 times x is being added to 2, right? Because 5 times x plus 6, no. It's being added to 2, right? All right, now it says the answer that matches the following. So it's going to be one of these guys right here. It says the sum of 5 and the product of 6 and the above expression. So we're going to be, the sum of 5 means we're going to be adding 5 to whatever the product of 6 and this is. So we're adding 5 to the product of 6 and that expression. There's that expression, which is 2 plus the quantity of 5 times x. So I'm the sum of 5 and the product of 6, and this expression is that one right there. Okay. Horacio is working on his science fair project about the heights of 5th graders. Here is his data. So he says what is that? 4 2/3 feet. Okay, is Horatio. And Marissa's 4 3/8, and Stephen is 5, and Lucia is 4 3/4. So what is the difference between the heights of Lucia and Horatio? So I've got to find a difference. Difference is subtraction. Okay, so I can see that they're both over 4 feet. So the difference is going to be between 4 3/4 feet and 4 2/3 feet. So we're really just asking this question, what is the difference between 3? Ooh, let me get a color in here. What is the difference between 3? Do I get to write it up here? 3. Oh boy. Sorry. Sorry, my mouse went a little crazy on me there. Let's undo that. Let's undo it again. Here we go. What is the difference between 3/4? So if I go 4 3/4 minus 4 2/3, right? That's really what I'm doing, finding the difference. Well, the 4s are just gonna, 4 minus 4 is 0, so it's gonna be 0 feet there, right? There's no feet difference. So it's these fractions, partials feet, parts of a feet. So I've got 3/4 minus 2/3. Well, how can I do that? Well, I have to find a common denominator. And how do we do that? We turn this into 12ths, so I'm going to multiply this by 3/3, right? 3/3 is 1. So I'm not changing this, and I turn 3/4 is equal to 9/12, right? Because I can see that 4 and 3 have a common multiple of 12. And so now to get this to 12, so I'm going to have to multiply by 4. And so I don't change the ratio. Oh boy. What is that all about? Sorry. I multiply by 4/4. So 2/3 times 4/4 gives me 8/12. So 8/12. So now I'm going to say if I had 9/12 and I took away 8 of them, I'd be left with 1/12. Okay? So this is stuff you're going to need to do. This is a mission warm-up, but this is really what you need to do in order to be able to move on. That kind of work. Okay, more of it. Here's another one. This is a word problem. One rainy Saturday morning, Adam woke up to hear his mom complaining about the house being dirty. Mom is always grouchy when it rains, Adam's brother said to him. So Adam decided to figure out if this statement was actually true. For the next month, he charted every time it rained and every time his mom was grouchy. What he found was very interesting. Rainy days and his mom being grouchy were entirely independent events. Wow, this is from geometry. I'm kind of surprised they got this for a warm-up. Maybe it's something that they're starting to teach now at the younger grades, and hopefully you guys have already come in and known that. So how to test for independence. How do we test for independence? Well, what we find is that the probability of being grouchy is the same whether or not it's raining, right? And same thing, probability of being not grouchy. So now we have to figure out what could we put here, what value could we put here that would make it so that the probability is the same as really 3/30. 3/30, because the probability of her being grouchy outright is 3/30, right? 3 grouchy days out of 30. And if it's independent, if it's an independent event, whether or not it's raining means it does not influence. So I would say 1 out of 10 is an equivalent ratio as 3 out of 30, and therefore this would have to be 2 out of 20. So this means the ratio 1/10 is equal to 3/30, and it's equal to 2/20. It's always going to be 1 day out of every 10 that mom is grouchy. Doesn't matter if it's raining or not. These are equivalent ratios, all three of these. So that's what it means to be an independent event. So how many would I put in here? Well, if there's total of 10, then I got to put 9 more in there, right? And if there's total of 20 and I only have 2, I have to put 18 more in there. And that's how that's done. So you can see that, what I've done now is that I've made some progress, and I'm going to continue to the next task. and actually it's wanting me to do a mystery challenge. So I'm going to stop here because I don't want to do this mystery challenge right now. But I wanted you to see how you get in and how you can use the Khan Academy and make sure that you're signed in.